When Act 3 starts, we get right into an argument with Orsino, who is first enchanter of the circle. Oh, who's trying to start a mob, and then Meredith. This makes sense because, well, it's been 3 years and no leader has come forward. This is good stuff because this directly addresses the main theme of the story, the mages versus Templars. The problem with this scene is nothing gets resolved. Sure, it's nice to talk about, but if no one comes to any conclusions, what's the damn point? The frame told us that Meredith was overzealous. The more she squeezed the mages, the more the mages resisted. The more they resisted, the tighter she squeezed. Logically, removing Meredith or her methods would be the simplest solution. We even have the option of saying, we'll become the Viscount, but that doesn't go anywhere. And then we get Elfina to join the argument. So now, there are the four most influential people in the city, and they can't solve this obvious issue. The obvious solutions are, 1. Tell Elfina to control Meredith. Aside from us, Elfina seems to be the wisest and most patient person here. Why can't she take a stand? She didn't do it with the Kunari, but it wasn't her place. But this issue directly involves the Templars, which the Chantry is in charge of. Knight commanders answer to the head of their respective chantry, led by Grand Clerics. Why isn't Grand Cleric Elfina doing anything when nothing has been resolved for 3 years? 2. Remove Meredith or her methods. Every character in the story doesn't like her methods. Getting Cullen or anyone else in charge would make sense. This is the simplest solution. Meredith and her followers wouldn't like that, but we're the damn champion. We do whatever we want or you're dead. Or we could do it in a more democratic means by influencing those within the Templar Order or something. Number 3, become the Viscount. The only person who seems against this is Meredith. So hold an election. Get support from your best bud, the guard captain, to see if the guards would want Hawk as their Viscount, or go to those parties nobles hold that Hawk has apparently been going to twice a week for 3 years to have them support the motion of electing a governor. Make it like a Landsmeet scenario where you have to win favor of the entire city to support the champion as Viscount. And Meredith's all, grr, you can't be Viscount, and then you beat her up. Or support anyone else as Viscount. Or make an aristocracy, or democracy, or plutocracy, or whatever government you want. And 4, the less obvious and more involved, is to start a peaceful mage revolt. The mages obviously outnumber the Chantry. We have an ex-elven keeper from Lowtown, which is obviously not much of a leader, but we can help her with that. A magic doctor of Darktown to support their districts, as well as first enchanter Orsino, and of course Hawk if you're a mage. Have them codify or come up with some constitution or charter that works with the Templars, which forces Meredith to follow. And only if that doesn't work, then free the mages from their oppression by force. That doesn't mean destroy the Circle or the Templar Order, it means stop those who are oppressing the mages. The problem isn't the Circle, the Templars, or the Chantry. It's Meredith and the overzealous Templars. Now, in Elfina's defense, she does say she brushes the idea up jokingly that she doesn't have authority in the matter, even though she does. She just decides not to impose it, even though it would obviously help people. In that regard, she's not much of a leader and wants to play the role of the gentle, caring, though ignorant and oblivious person. Just keep everything as it is. We end up getting our plot from our mailbox again, and it's to help out Meredith. Since she's apparently the real power in Kirkwall, that makes sense. Not so much sense, though, if we're openly siding with Orsino, however, but she reverts that by stating that she wants Hawk to understand the situations of the Templars by being involved personally. Okay, that makes sense. So we go to the Templar Hall, talk to her assistant, and we get 3 quests we can complete in any order. See? This is good, as this is how the subplots should have been handled in the previous acts by the Viscount, Varric, Bartrand the sibling, or whomever. Freedom to do them in any order, but we still have to do them, and we know why. So far, I haven't seen any relevance to the side plots in Act 1 come back in Act 2 or 3 yet. Also, isn't the power of air pressure awesome? Just look at these doors close by themselves. It's perfect for when you want to plan your opponent's demise when they're 5 meters away from you. The doors just know that you want privacy. So we kill some Abomination, help some Orlesian mage guy escape the city, and kill some Blood Mage. These all showcase the Mage versus Templar theme, and again, on average, paint mages in Kirkwall as generally bad people. We go back to Meredith, and we get to argue with her again. Even if you're pro-mage, she even paints the pathetic Orlesian guy as a serpent in disguise without having met him. This showcases her reluctance to accept that there are in fact good or normal mages in the circle who are brave enough to seek their own freedom. Then our magical game bird suddenly whispers in our ear that Varric has a quest for us, and we have to go meet him in the Hanged Man, which is funny because he was in my party at the time and didn't say a damn thing. But it's not a main quest, so who cares? We go to our main quest giver, our lovable mailbox again, and Orsino wants to talk to us. Orsino. So we go back right to where we started. And why he couldn't walk 5 meters across the hall, I don't know. Anyway, there's some kind of mage Templar gathering and he wants us to go find out what that's all about. He's scared because if Meredith finds out, it could be all she needs to start up a rite of annulment, which is pretty much just go ahead and butcher every mage in Kirkwall. So we go to this meeting spot and the Templars there accuse us of working for Meredith. I killed 2 blood mages and helped an innocent mage escape Kirkwall. How was I helping Meredith? Not only am I working on behalf of Orsino, I openly support him. Unfortunately, they all die, but there's more of them, so we go track them down. Turns out that guy we saved is back from Act 1, and we find out the Rogue Templars have captured our sibling. Now this is an interesting development. The Templars and mages are working together not to take the Order apart or kill mages, but simply to oust Meredith. They captured Hawk's sibling because Hawk's the most important person in Kirkwall. This is good stuff. This makes sense.
Mages and Templars working together. I must be dreaming.
We get to their base of sorts and find Thrask is involved. We can support his cause, but he ultimately gets killed by Grace, and we slaughter everyone else because they listen to Grace. Oh, crap. Well, we just made a whole mess of what seemed to be a natural rebellion by mages and Templars over the years who were working together. All because in 2 cases they thought we were going to slaughter them on sight, and Grace was a murderous blood mage. Okay, well, we go back to Orsino, but he's got nothing to say. Instead of him deciding to create another group of conspirators, or asking us to, or appealing to the Grand Cleric, he just shrugs his shoulders. Well, there goes that plot. Our journal says we should wait for more letters, so it's back home to go to our lovely plot provider, Mr. Mailbox. And once again, Orsino had to write us a letter even though we just finished talking to him, so we have to go back to the gallows and ask him what he wants. Again. The hell is wrong with this guy? Instead, we get intercepted by a random mage NPC guy, saying that he went to go talk to Althena after having an argument with Meredith. About bloody time someone's going to do something about the situation. So we're having a decent argument with Meredith and Orsino. She's just as passionate, though not completely unreasonable. All we need to do is go talk to everyone with Althena, get her support, and then we can... And Anders just went full retard.
I removed the chance of compromise because there is no compromise.
There has been a compromise for 1,000 years. What's different now is nearly every mage is being persecuted because of Meredith. Killing Althena, the nicest, most understanding, and respected person in the city, was the most egregious thing one could have done. This just proves that Meredith, as draconian as she was right. Here we have an abomination who destroyed the Chantry. If Anders was going to blow up anything, why didn't he blow up the Templar Hall with all the Templars in it? Or how about not blowing up anything and be part of the conspiracy to free all the mages with the Thrask? Or start up your own rebellion?
We were already doomed. A quick death now or a slow one later. I'd rather die fighting.
That doesn't even make sense. How does being a terrorist make you die fighting? You just blew up the Chantry. Acts of terrorism make you a coward, not a fighter.
It doesn't matter. Even if I wished to, I could not stay my hand. The people will demand blood.
Why? The Chantry just exploded. They have no idea who or what the cause was. We do. We can just kill Anders, or we can put him on trial. There's no need for us to attack anyone else or for the people to do so indiscriminately. Why would they? They would demand justice and to know what's going on, but they wouldn't want random violence, especially not on themselves.
The sooner I die, the sooner my name lives on to inspire generations.
Sure, provided us or the victors tell anyone you did this, or it could just be seen as an unknown accident. Then we're forced to make a choice, to either side with the mages or the Templars. Now, both choices have some good conflicts and reasons to go with either. The biggest one I see is ideology versus pragmatism. We want liberty for mages, but not at the expense of more deaths. We also want order established, but we don't want to kill innocents, and there are innocents on both sides. The two major problems with this choice is one, we don't want the right of annulment, since that's stupid. We know who caused this, so there's no reason for it. It's just Meredith overreacting. We should have the choice of telling her to step down, or we'll knock her down a peg or kill her. Ditto with the mages. We don't want to kill innocents, but we will kill any abominations we come across, as we always have. Time and again, mages will resort to blood magic and demons. And two, it's a false dichotomy. How about we side with the city guard? They're a third party just like Hawk, so why not rally under them and try to stop both parties from killing each other? Or how about just killing Meredith and Anders? Or how about imprisoning Anders and punishing him later, like by making him tranquil, if that's even possible? That would have been a pretty interesting conversation with Justice. Nothing is stopping Hawk from going middle of the road again, or even deciding to go against both sides. In almost any two-sided choice, there's always four options. One, two, both, or neither. When Meredith tells us we're the champion, that we are already involved, well, there's still no reason why it's a binary choice. Then there's the issue if you're a mage and deciding to choose the people who want to kill you. How is that going to work? And all this while I'm thinking, where's Hawk's rise to power? Sure, they're a champion, but what political clout or power does that give them? They're supposedly the most powerful and influential person, but they're not making any big choices or stepping in before things get out of hand. Meredith even asked us for another option, but instead we answer her question about having seen the evils of magic. Why can't we tell her to step down, or else? Because the real problem isn't Anders. It's the subjugation of the mages which we objectify through Meredith. So Meredith is the real problem. I decide to kill Anders because, well, that's what we do to abominations, and I like being consistent in stories. I also chose to side with the Templars because aside from a handful of good ones, every mage we came across was either a blood mage, an abomination, drunk with power, insane, or a combination of those. The Templar Order has a few bad apples and a really bad leader, but for the most part they're vital to the stability of Kirkwall. If there's the option to grant freedom to the mages, it can still be done without destroying the Templar Order, or at least not making them our enemies. We eventually meet up with Orsino and Meredith again, and they have another conversation. Again, we have a choice, but ultimately that does nothing. Orsino is being reasonable, and Meredith assumes the people want to slaughter every mage in Kirkwall? Why? Can't we just kill this lady already? Where's the stab option on the damn dialogue wheel? Does anyone else think this batty old woman is finally ready to be killed? So instead of having it out right now, they decide they're going to kill each other all gentlemanly and ladylike in an established place or something stupid like that. Meredith gives a rather evil speech about killing every mage because they're all bad and must be killed. Hi, I'm a mage, Meredith. Is anyone paying attention? I'm quite sure this is not what the Order teaches, or is it true? What the hell is wrong with you idiots? Hawk decides to follow suit and give his team some brilliant tactical advice.
Fenris, I want you to stay close. Help out when you can. Varric, stay out of sight. And use your crossbow. Bethany, keep out of the fray. And use your spells at a distance.
Oh my god, we finally get to defy Meredith by sparing some mages that surrendered. And then we learn that Orsino was gone full retard. And if you remember back from the story with Gascard Dupuis, there was a letter signed with an O. Yep, this guy was helping that insane serial murderer who killed your mom. And he didn't tell anyone because that would have made Meredith angry. Well, in truth, he never used blood magic before. Of course, he has to turn into a boss we have to kill because he's desperate or pushed into a corner or something like that. So he dies and Meredith decides we're suddenly evil. Okay, can we kill her now? Now? How about now? Yes? Thank the bloody maker. Oh, she has a neon glowing lightsaber made of pure lyrium, which happens to be the idol from the deep roads we gave to Bartrand. Wait, doesn't pure lyrium kill humans on touch? Well, I guess it explains why she's frickin' nuts. It doesn't explain why the Knight Commander of the Templars who hates magic would buy a magical artifact made of pure lyrium in the first place, or why or how it turned into a sword, and how a human can even handle it. And now she's a Power Ranger and is somehow able to conjure up magical scenes from Jason and the Argonauts. For a Knight Commander who is diametrically opposed to magic, how the hell did this even come about? And then we discover the whole point of the frame story turns out to be whether or not the champion could be useful in helping stop the war that's brewing between the mages and the Templars all throughout Thedas, since for some reason Kirkwall's Chantry explosion influenced the other circle towers, making the Templars or mages rebel, depending on which side Hawk chose to side with. Why? What does the destruction of the Chantry in Kirkwall matter? Let alone, how did it influence the other circles? It's a city-state which, aside from its trepid ownership and occupants from various other leaders of different nations over the millennia, has no allegiance to Thedas. What does it have to do with the Templars and the Circle Mages throughout the entire other country? So what if Kirkwall Chantry blows up and the Grand Cleric there is killed? What does that have to do with the 14 other Circle of Magi? I'm sure there's a reason, but no one tells us. So, regardless of the ending, Hawk just escapes, and that's that. And if you played the game a certain way, I think you get a song by the Child of Grace Slick, or you get some other song. I'm not too sure about that.